Soaring to new heights, the vital role of military aviation. You ever watch those fighter jets scream across the sky at an air show? Talk about a dirty job. But also talk about important. Military pilots put their lives on the line every day, protecting our skies and keeping us safe. These men and women are the best of the best, highly trained to handle some of the most advanced aircraft on the planet. But getting them ready for that kind of responsibility, that's a whole other challenge. It takes years of intense training, both on the ground and in the air, and that's where military aircraft simulation comes in. It's revolutionized how we train these modern-day knights of the sky. Training pilots in real aircraft is expensive, like really expensive. Fuel alone costs a fortune, not to mention the wear and tear on the planes themselves. Plus, there are some things you just can't practice safely in a real jet. What happens if the engine stalls out on takeoff? Or you encounter severe turbulence in a storm? That's where simulators come in. They let pilots experience these situations and practice emergency procedures in a safe, controlled environment without the risk of a real crash. Think of it like learning to swim with floaties on before you jump in the deep end. Learning the ropes and rudders, the basics of flight simulation. So how does this whole simulation thing work? Imagine stepping into a giant video game, but instead of a controller, you've got a full-scale replica of an aircraft cockpit. You've got the stick, the throttle, the rudder pedals, the whole 9 yards. Everything looks, feels, and even sounds just like the real deal. Surrounding the cockpit is a massive, curved screen that displays a three-dimensional virtual environment. It's so realistic you'll swear you can feel the wind in your hair, even though you're stuck indoors. The simulator's computer system controls everything you see and hear. It simulates weather conditions, enemy aircraft, and even the way the plane handles at different altitudes and speeds. Now, this isn't some arcade game where you just mash buttons and hope for the best. These simulators are incredibly sophisticated. They use complex algorithms and hydraulic systems to recreate the forces and sensations of flight. Pull up on the stick and you'll feel the G-forces pushing you back in your seat. Bank into a turn and you'll feel the centrifugal force. It's so real you might just forget you're not actually soaring through the clouds. Simulated skies, real results, advantages of virtual training. Now, you might be thinking, sure, simulators are fun and all, but can they really replace the real thing? And the answer is a resounding yes. In fact, simulation offers a whole bunch of advantages over traditional training methods. First off, there's the safety factor. Simulators let pilots practice dangerous maneuvers and experience emergency situations without any risk to themselves or their aircraft. That's huge. It's like having a reset button for pilot training. Second, simulation is way more cost-effective than flying real planes. No fuel costs, no wear and tear on expensive aircraft, and you can train more pilots in less time. But it's not just about saving money and preventing crashes. Simulation also allows for highly customized training scenarios. Need to practice landing on an aircraft carrier in the middle of a hurricane? No problem. Want to engage in a mock dogfight against enemy jets? Simulators can do that too. This level of flexibility is impossible to replicate in real-world training. From basic cockpits to full mission combat, a look at different simulators. Not all simulators are created equal though. Just like planes themselves, they come in all shapes and sizes, each designed for a specific purpose. At the most basic level, you've got your basic cockpit procedures trainers. These are like the flight simulators you might find at an arcade, but a bit more advanced. They're used to teach pilots the basics of aircraft systems, cockpit layout, and emergency procedures. Then you've got more sophisticated flight training devices that recreate the feel of flying a specific type of aircraft. These are used to help pilots transition to new aircraft and hone their stick and rudder skills. And at the top of the food chain, you've got full mission simulators. These bad boys are as close to the real deal as you can get. They're used to train pilots for complex missions like aerial refueling, close air support, and dogfighting. These simulators are so realistic, they can even simulate the feeling of being shot down.